Start this. Well, Jim and Daphne, thank you guys for coming in today. I know that going to counseling at any point is a big step, and it can be difficult to come in. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate the courage that it took to come in here. Before we get started today, I want to go over a couple different things from the intake packet that you guys filled out. The main thing is going to be confidentiality, and I just wanted to make sure you guys understand your rights to confidentiality, and that essentially everything that we talk about in here is going to remain confidential. There are some limitations to that. The first one would be that I can't guarantee that both of you will stay confidential, but on my end of things, everything that we talk about in here will remain confidential. Another reason why I may have to break confidentiality is if I suspected that either one of you were going to be a harm to yourself or somebody else. Also, as a mandatory reporter, I'm required to report instances of child abuse or abuse towards the elderly. And then in a highly unlikely circumstance, if something were to come up where we were having to go to court, my records could get subpoenaed and I would have to break confidentiality sometimes in that way. Did you guys have any questions regarding that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, and then so one of the other things I wanted to cover is being that you guys are a couple meeting with me, the idea of balance and really bringing that into our sessions and into our relationship together, that we're just creating an atmosphere of balance while you guys are in here, and that means that giving each other as equal as possible amounts of time to respond, and taking into consideration the thoughts and ideas and feelings of each other as we work through this process. And so I'll help navigate most of that. But if I'm asking Jim a question, just know that it'll be reciprocated to you in some way or another, and vice versa.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions?
No.
Well, I really like to start out with just finding out, how did you guys decide to come into counseling? Like, what was it that you decided to use counseling as your option?
I think I don't know. Things weren't working for us just to talk. And so she mentioned it, and I was like, well, yeah, let's give it a shot.
We've just kind of come to an impasse. We can't make headway on this certain situation. And we've never really argued that much before, but this has just got us on opposite sides, and we can't seem to find a common ground.
Yeah, and so I kind of hear you guys both saying that it was, it's kind of like a last option for you guys, and I'm sensing some maybe frustration around what's going on. Is this regarding what you talked about in your paperwork with
And our daughter.
Okay.
Our son. Yeah. I don't even know, honestly. It's been really fast. Last few weeks of, we were trying to get our daughter ready to go to school. She's going like across the country to go to college, which we were really excited about. And then as she's leaving, or he's leaving, or they're leaving, she tells us that she wants to change her name to Bradley, and that they are gonna that they want to be called they and that they're going to change their gender. It's just like, I don't even know what to think about this. It just came so fast.
Yeah, I mean, and that sounds like an intense situation to be in, and as you're sharing about that, I can just, sense like some confusion and frustration and just uncertainty about what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about it. There's moments where I just feel really pissed off about it because the way she told us, like just the last second as she's leaving, she's getting on a plane to go across the country, and she just drops this on us. I don't even have a chance to talk with her.
What did you feel in that moment when she told you?
That it can't be happening. It just can't be happening. Not my daughter.
Daphne, as you hear your husband's sense of feelings of this just can't be happening, how do you feel hearing him share about that, and where are you in all of this?
Well, I feel the same way. It's like it can't be happening, but my focus has just been on Bethany. I mean, I feel like I'm losing my little girl. And then Jim has just been so angry that he's just basically cut himself off from the rest of the family. The other kids are asking questions. We have other teenagers. We have 2 teenage daughters they're also close in age, and I worry about how Bethany's choice is going to affect them. Are they going to be wondering, gee, am I a boy too? I don't know how to handle his intense anger and hold the family together and lose my little girl. I mean, she's always been a tomboy. I mean, that's just her. She didn't even want to go to prom this year because she wanted to go with her girlfriend. She wanted to wear a tuxedo, and he said, absolutely not. No daughter of mine's going to go to prom wearing a tuxedo, and they had this big fight. And I'm just like, I just want her to be happy. I want her to experience prom. It didn't matter how she dressed. I just want her, it's such a rite of passage. Every girl deserves that. And I guess that was sort of a premonition of all of this. But when she just said, I want you to call me Bradley, and don't say he or she, say they and them and their, and it was just too much as she's walking out the door. And I'm just beside myself. I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, but I think mostly I'm sad.
Yeah, so the sadness, the anger, the frustration is really just all kind of culminating in feeling overwhelmed with the situation itself, and then dealing with Jim's anger and fears about future, and talking to the kids about the situation too.
I'm scared too. I'm scared for her. I'm scared for our family. Jim just seems to be concerned about what's the church gonna say. And I'm
Of
like,
course.
what's our family gonna say?
Jim started to express some concern about the church.
Yeah. So I've been on the board, I've been an elder, I've been in all these different leadership positions at our church for over 15 years now. Like, our kids grew up there. And everybody knows me, everybody knows that I'm a leader there. And if they find out about this, like, I don't know what that's going to mean. Like, it's going to destroy our way of life up to this point. Like, it's like she didn't even think about that when she made this decision.
It's not gonna destroy our way of life. Who cares what they think?
I care what they think.
But what about Bethany or Bradley? I'll never get used to that.
It sounds like there's really some tension then in these two different spheres of relationships that are important to you guys. I mean, I think obviously is the relationship with Bethany and wanting to see that work out, but then Jim, that you're also expressing importance with your relationship with your church and how these people view your family.
Mhm.
Daphne, how do you feel about the relationship with the church?
Well, I don't think that they should run our life. I mean, obviously, I read the same Bible that Jim reads, and I understand what the Bible says about situations like this, but shouldn't our most important aspect be love and just loving her and not arguing and not being angry, but just accepting her the way she is? I mean, the way I look at it, that's the way Jesus takes us, just as we are. So how can we look at our own child and say, we don't accept this? You're not making a good decision, so I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah, and there definitely seems to be some conflict between how you guys are viewing this situation specifically. Is that correct?
I think so. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
How have you guys handled conflict in the past?
Until now, there hasn't been a lot. Usually I just do what he says, within reason. Usually he's got a good handle on what the family needs, and I trust his decisions. I let him lead. And he's always listened to me before. He's always let me say how I feel, and he's been okay with that. And then he makes a decision based on what's best for the family. But this is a whole different ballgame. This is something completely different. I just want to focus on her and her needs and why this is all coming out now, and her being so far away from home and being so young, and her having to go through this. Obviously something's led her to this, and she's got to be scared. And she doesn't have us there for her support. We're just all running around in a circle. And he's worried about the church.
Jim, how do you feel about Daphne's response to your guys' ability to work through conflict in the past and also in this present situation?
Well, I think it's important that first I just say that I still love my daughter. They're still my daughter. So I think that that's important to state first. But as it relates to our ability to handle conflict, I have had a great handle on things, and I have been able to make really wise and smart decisions for our family that have allowed us to have the lifestyle that we have. And now all of a sudden, my choices and my opinion on this particular topic are no longer valid.
No.
So I don't know.
And that sense of your opinions not being validated is leading to part of the frustration that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says she trusts me to make decisions, but it doesn't seem like it right now.
Well, I think to kind of take a step back for a second and look at the common ground in this situation right now. I've in just a short time that we've been meeting, I've heard both of you express a strong love for your daughter, and and wanting to the best for her, and to make that relationship with her work, to figure out how to navigate um, through this situation. And I've also heard both of you express that you don't feel like your um, opinions or point of views are being received well by the other person. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, she's not hearing me.
Daphne, how about you?
Yeah, he says he loves her, but the things that he said and the way he's been, I don't see it right now.
What would it look like for each of you to be heard in this situation by the other person? And let's go ahead and we'll start with Daphne, if that's okay, Jim. And why don't you just tell Jim what it would look like or feel like for your heart to be received in this situation, your thoughts and your ideas and your feelings.
What would it look like? It would look like you listening. It would look like you hear my mother's heart of how much I love her and how much I care about her. And I want what's best for her, whatever that looks like. We've raised her to be a strong Christian girl. We've got to trust how we've raised her. So if this is important to her, it must be important. I guess that's all.
So he was saying that it would be helpful to for Jim to listen to you and trust the decisions that you guys have made in the past with raising your kids, and no matter what the outcome is, that you guys are gonna love your daughter.
Love her no matter what. For him.
And Jim, before we get your input to this too, how does it feel to hear Daphne say those things?
I feel I want her to feel heard. I want her to feel listened to. And but it's just hard.
Yeah, and why don't you go ahead and Jim, and tell Daphne what it would look like for you in this situation, to have your thoughts and ideas received by her, to feel like you were being validated.
I mean, I guess I similarly would want her to listen to me and understand just how big an impact this can possibly make on our family and its ability and the ability for me to continue to be in the position that I am. Like the Bible says that I have to be able to keep my kids in check. Just doesn't seem like I'm doing that. So I don't know. I just want her to understand the impact that it has on my life.
Can you guys see the similarities in what you're both wanting from each other? Is to feel like you're being heard from the other person. I think that'll be an important thing for us to come back to throughout this process. This is going to be a difficult situation to navigate for you guys. There are a lot of different moving pieces going on. There's your guys' relationship, the relationship with Bethany, the relationship with your other kids, the relationship with the church and other friends and families that may be family members that may be involved. And so it's going to be a process to navigate through all this, and so I think it'll be helpful to keep that in mind, that like you guys do have a common goal in this of loving your daughter, and you do have a common approach of respecting the other person and wanting to wanting to make sure they're being heard. And so when the emotions start to flare in here or at home, if it's in here, I may kind of bring that up as a reminder. But I also, before we wrap up today, wanted to, just get one more question out of the way and just find out what you guys are hoping for in this process of coming to counseling. I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. What are you guys hoping to take away from counseling?
I'm hoping that we can learn how to navigate this. We've always been pretty good at communicating, but this is, like I said, a whole new ball game, and so I'm hoping we can learn new skills of being able to talk to each other respectfully about this topic, because it's such a hot button, and how we can support our child equally.
And Jim?
I'm hoping that we can come to some sort of mutual understanding that allows us to continue moving forward with our family. And I mean, I definitely don't want to see our family be torn apart by this. So in some way, figuring out how to, whether we hold differing opinions or not, if we can just keep the family together, that's really important to me. So whatever we need to do to make that happen.
I mean, it sounds like both of you are willing to do what it takes to make that happen.
I think so.
I'm just gonna go ahead and cut right there.
Okay.
I know that's a little early.
Oh, you did awesome.
That was great!
Yay! That's a whole different flavor, but it was awesome.
Yeah, we could have talked
so
longer. You
good.
guys talked really long in mine.
Woohoo.
I think that was amazing.
Yeah, just check off that one, check
Check,
that one
check.
off.